Today we're going to talk about 3 ways in which debt can work in your favor. Many people are scared to go to a bank to borrow money. The thought of having debt horrifies them. In fact, many people can't sleep well at night if they have too much debt. I can't sleep well at night if I have too little debt. We're going to discuss how debt can work in your favor so that you'll actually want to attract more debt to you to help you become financially free through investing in real estate. I've been teaching people how to become financially free through investing in real estate for decades now. And I truly believe it's one of the best vehicles there is. And one of the tremendous advantages of real estate over other investment vehicles is that you can get leverage. Banks will give you a big portion of the purchase price that you don't have to come up with in cash. Or to put it another way, if you've got, say, $100,000 in cash and you want to invest in stocks, you can buy exactly $100,000 worth of stock. But that same $100,000 cash invested in real estate could easily buy you a $200,000 property, or $300,000, or $500,000, or maybe even $1 million property when you get a 90% mortgage. But here's the potential challenge. Many people have been conditioned to believe that debt is bad. They are petrified, they're horrified at the thought of taking on debt to buy anything. Let's explore people's reluctance to take on debt and the extremely rare circumstances under which it is not only advisable but extraordinarily smart to take on debt to buy something. When it comes to debt, there are 2 kinds of debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. And let's talk about bad debt for a moment. Bad debt is when you take on debt to buy things that go down in value. So let's say there's a fancy car you like. It's $100,000. And by the way, right now you can spend a lot more than $100,000 on even a modest car. But let's say you take on debt of $100,000 to buy that car. The moment you drive it off the lot, we know the value's gone down by $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and yet you'll still owe $100,000 on it. It is not a good deal. Debt to buy jet skis or even to pay for a holiday or a vacation is generally bad debt. In fact, when people buy things on their credit card just because it's so easy, they'll often find themselves paying 21 or 22 or 24% interest on that. That is bad debt. You want to avoid that like the plague. In fact, I say, if you can't afford to pay your credit cards off at the end of the month, then don't buy what you're putting on those credit cards. You should only have discretionary income to buy things that are not necessities. Right? That's bad debt. On the other hand, we have good debt. Good debt is debt used to acquire things that actually go up in value. And the primary example of this is education. When you educate yourself, you increase your skill set so that you're more valuable in the market. It is worth investing in education, both time and money, even taking on debt to spend the money to get educated, because the rewards should be there and reaped for decades to come. Another example is business, where you might take on debt to either start a business or buy more inventory or take on more staff or get a bigger factory or something like that. And then for me, the most obvious example is debt acquired to take on real estate. Because again, if you've only got $100,000 cash and you just want to buy a property for cash, you can only buy a $100,000 property. You can't buy much in the current market for that. But if you allow yourself to use leverage, if you'll take on debt, if you'll take on a mortgage, then you can easily get a $400,000 property, a $500,000. And if you play the game well, you might even get $1 million property using $100,000 cash and a $900,000 mortgage. And you might say, hang on a minute, a $900,000 mortgage, that's more money than I can imagine. How will I ever pay the interest? And the answer is, you've got an asset worth $1 million that's generating rental income that should easily cover the mortgage and the property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and some profit. Because if it doesn't cover those items, you shouldn't be buying it. I've never bought a property where it didn't cover those items. So taking on debt, good debt, to educate yourself, to build a business, or to have real estate is great debt. I love it. That brings us to the concept of collateralized debt. Because when you think about it, debt secured against assets that decline in value, such as stereo equipment, shoes, and cars, is risky. But debt secured against assets that go up in value, and where the asset generates income that more than covers the payment, that can really build wealth. In fact, if there were no limit to the debt you could take on to buy assets that go up in value, you should take it all on, because eventually it's going to go up and you'll benefit from that leverage. Just to remind everyone what leverage is, investors use leverage to multiply their buying power in the market. And if the underlying asset goes down in value, then you get poorer faster. But if, as generally is the case with real estate, the underlying asset goes up in value, then you get rich faster. You get rich faster by the degree to which you are leveraged. If you've got leverage of 3 to 1, then your value, your net worth will go up by a factor of 3 relative to the situation if you didn't use debt. If you've got 10 to 1 leverage, if you used $100,000 cash to buy $1 million property and things double in value, then that million will go to 2 million and your 100,000 of equity will have gone to 1.1 million. It's gone up by a factor of 11. It is phenomenal. It is there for everyone to use. Make sure that when you use leverage, you buy assets that go up in value and not assets that go down in value. The third advantage of debt is that it can make your investment less risky. For instance, let's assume you've got a $400,000 property with no debt on it. Someone who might be interested in conducting a frivolous lawsuit to try and get access to your $400,000, there might be a big incentive there. But if you take on a $300,000 mortgage, which is only 75% loan-to-value ratio, then not only is your investment going to be more efficient and you'll have a higher percentage rate of return, but at the same time, it's going to reduce the desire amongst other people to have a crack at you. It makes your investment more secure and reduces the risk. I love it. I've been in this real estate game for a long time, and of all the hundreds of deals I've done since I started at 17, all of them have involved leverage. I am convinced that leverage is the way to go because leverage makes real estate not only far more efficient than it would be without that leverage, but the fact is that banks all over the world are encouraging you to buy real estate with their money. They don't say, hey, come and see us if you want to buy diamonds or golds or anything else. It's only real estate. So real estate lends itself to leverage extraordinarily well. And if you want to find out how you can leverage some cash you've got into real estate, click the link below because I'm going to show you how you can partner with me if you want to really maximize the ability to leverage your existing assets into a portfolio that's going to provide you with passive income for the rest of your life. Click the link below to find out how you can partner with me to really maximize the benefits of leverage that is available in real estate. Once again, thank you for watching. Remember, if you click that subscribe button, it's going to encourage us to make even more videos for you. And again, if you enjoyed this video, I think you're really going to like the next one. See you then.